Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi, family doctor turned intuitive coach, and I'm here to help you. In this podcast, we will learn mental techniques, emotional techniques, and spiritual techniques to change daily problems. So maybe it's your husband, your boss, your coworker, your kids, they're driving you crazy. You can email me any of your questions and I will use all the techniques I've learned over the years and help you. Grab your hot chocolate and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. Today we're going to do the listener questions, and I got a few of them here, so buckle up. And the two questions that I got are actually very much connected. If you're a listener and you've got a question, you want some intuitive guidance, or you just feel really stuck, feel free to email me, easeintoClarity@gmail.com. And when you listen to these two questions, you're like, do they talk to each other? They're very similar, yet also different. So give me a second while I pull up the first question. All right, so the first question comes from Alexis, and it reads, Hi, Dr. Divi. How do I find passion in my career? I have a lot of ambition and drive and a desire to apply it somewhere that gives me a greater sense of purpose. I know there is no perfect job, but I really want to thrive in a career that has meaning and impact to myself and others. I just don't know how to balance the desire with something I also will genuinely enjoy doing. Fantastic question, Alex. That's fantastic. So a couple of things I want to share with you more about career paths, having helped thousands of people kind of find their career path. There's a difference between the mind and the ego and the soul. The soul knows exactly why you're here, Alexis, exactly. And I really appreciate this question because it's incredibly common. The soul knows exactly why you're here and exactly how it's meant to show up. And then the ego tries to go into control and thinks of every possible scenario. I'm going to run through a bunch of steps, and I'm not going to tell you about a 3-step process because I don't know how many steps are going to come out of my mouth. But I can share this with you not from my own journey, but also from helping so many people find their passion. The first thing I want you to first understand is I want you to understand that you have a soul that's here for whatever you're here to do. Okay, so when you even wrote down that you want to be of service, you want to help, you want to make a difference, you want to have meaning in what you do, that's all your soul. And you want it to impact others, that's 100% your soul. And that is not something that your mind can find, Alexis. And that's really annoying to hear. So step 1 is to know that your soul knows it. Step 2 is to surrender, to like drop to your knees and say, okay, Spirit, what am I here for? Knowing that they're not going to send you a text message or a fax machine saying, this is a fax message saying, this is what it is. Or in the olden days, if you remember telegrams, they're not going to telegram you and tell you. But it's finding something that you deeply, deeply desire to help, to do, Alexis. And watch when your mind says, okay, this isn't perfect. This doesn't feel right. Or not even doesn't feel right. This isn't it. Notice when the mind stops it, okay? Because you wrote something like, I wanted to balance desire with something I also genuinely enjoy doing. And in my experience, personally, as well, worked with lots of people, your soul knows that balance, and it's a soul calling, not a mind calling. The fourth point I will tell you, this is just a general thing I tell everybody, and this might sound like a silly one, Alexis, but it works. Walk around chapters. Take your time, get a coffee or a tea or a hot chocolate, walk around. Take your time and don't think. And I want you to do that right now in your mind. Walk around chapters or Indigo Store, walk around in your mind. And I want you to imagine the top 3 or 4 places you ended up, Alexis. So where'd you end up? Did you end up in comics? Did you end up in the children's book section? Did you end up in cars? Did you end up in self-help? Did you end up in like the cooking aisle? Where did you end up? And I want you to pick out 3 areas. And after you do that, pause the video if you need to and come back. Okay, welcome back, Alexis. One of those 3 or 4 areas is what your soul is here for. Your soul is going to take you to that which you're here for. Okay? It's the thing that you would do for free. It's the thing that you will wake up in the morning and desire to do and know that you're making a difference and know that it's your most natural calling to do. And it is something that brings you passion, even if you don't know what it looks like. And what I keep hearing in your question, but also thousands of people, tens of thousands, is they try to figure it out. And I could tell you in my own journey, when I discovered that I have this gift as an intuitive, and Alexis, I'm going to tune into you in just a minute. intuitively. When I had discovered I had this gift for intuition, it was 18, 19 years ago. And when it started to come in, my mind would stop it. My mind would say, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this? Like sit and meditate with people? No. What am I supposed to do? Talk to dead people in front of people? No. And did you see when my gift started really strongly about 19 years ago, I was stopping it. So like, okay, screw this. I'm just going to learn about this gift, not with no intentions of a career. And that took me about 4 or 5 years to do before I started my business, because every voice in my head said, well, I don't know how to do that. It's not that I didn't know how to, it's more that it's not a perfect job. And I would tell, I'm reading your question, I would tell myself, well, yeah, okay, that could impact others, but it'll drain me and it's not gonna be balanced. And I don't know if I really want to do it. And I would like put every thought as to how this can't work to work. And prior to that, Alexis, so I went through a bunch of steps with you, know that it's there, be open to it. One of the steps I took was I actually dropped on my knees many times. And I often knew that they would tell me. So as you know, Alexis, my first career was a physician. Then I would drop on my knees when I was a doctor. And I was like, I don't like, it's not that I don't like being a doctor, but I know there's more. That's what I would say to the universe. I'd say, Alexis, I would say, universe, I know there's more. I don't know what it is, but please help me. And it wasn't overnight. I mean, that asking when I was a doctor was, it was 25 years ago, right? 23 years ago, I started asking. I was like, there must be more. And then I didn't know that it would take me down the yoga world. But I remember when I started yoga, I loved yoga when I first started it. And then the passion then took me to study yoga. Never planned on becoming a yoga student. What I want you to see is each of those crazy steps. If you talk to any of my clients who have taken a journey into finding their passion, they didn't stop their mind from stopping them. And I think that's what you're doing, Alexis, is you're filtering with your mind what your intuition or passions are. Your passions at first don't make sense as to how they make you money. They don't. They're not supposed to make sense. But if you follow the passion, like who makes a living teaching yoga? Not a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of people do. They make ends meet. But that's when I opened yoga studios, because I knew I could make more money doing that. And, that then led me to my dream career, which is what I do now. And it took me 5 years once I opened up this door to actually start. And it took me for another few years to actually not be scared. Okay. So Alexis, I want you to know that it's there for you. It's just our own ego that's going to stop you. Alexa, they also say to me when I'm tuning into you specifically, they keep saying she loves to get into her body. And I don't know if that means exercise or nutrition, but they're showing me your body. And so that means getting into your body, and really it could also be opening up your heart for what your desires are. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be a fitness instructor or yoga teacher, but it's like keep saying, tell her to get into her heart and her body so she knows her truth, get out of her head, because it feels like me, you're very heady. You're trying to figure it out. So just drop to your knees, ask, knowing that you're not going to know. If you drop today, January, whatever, you're not going to know January, whatever the answer. But trust the path. If you show up at a boxing gym and you love it, trust it. But that boxing gym might have you meet somebody who takes you to another step and another step, another step. I want you to let those doors unfold, and our minds try to put into box, and that's when the universe can't work for us. But as soon as you ask Alexis, the answer's there. But it's about what you would do for free and what your passion speaks to, not what your mind does. So I hope that helps, Alexis. Please feel free to email me back and message me, or just, let me know how this went for you. So, okay, that was Alexis's question. The next question, ironically, is similar. This is from Joanna. Joanna writes, I hope you're doing well. I started off 2024 buzzing. Yay. I mean, let's go. This is my year. I feel so positive. I'm just starting to come over mat leave. Oh gosh, ready to work and ready to create. Yes, 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 yes. And then I got all these plot tests. My nanny quit. My previous clients don't need my services yet. My baby now decided to not need the bottle and not want the bottle. And so I feel deflated and disappointed and really uncertain about my future. My husband wants to plan baby number 2. How does a mom stay motivated and present and energized in the midst of uncertainty? Welcome to being a mom, Joanna? Beautiful question. Beautiful. You can see how this links to the last one. First thing they're saying the loudest, Joanna, is you're not doing anything wrong. But like the last call, or like the last question caller, you're trying to put your agenda in front of the universe's agenda. And I'm not saying your husband's agenda. The universe is talking to you. And yes, you want this to be your year, and you're deciding what's your year, which is awesome. But when we get sidetracked with, as you call them, plot twists, rather than thinking themselves off track, slow down a little bit, listen a little bit, and ask yourself, okay, my nanny quit. Is this a calling for me to stay home more? Is this because I want a second child? Or maybe I do and I'm not looking at it, which is cool. I'm not telling you do. But Joanna, what I keep feeling is there's a large push in you, which I totally respect, especially post-mat leave. I totally respect it. But that push, the universe is saying, slow down the push. Like the push is great, but the push is very masculine. And I know you know that. And coming out of mat leave, personally, I can say for myself, I can't speak for you, but personally, for me, that's when my feminine went through the roof. And I'm not saying you're not in your feminine, don't hear it that way. But I want you to be open to balancing the masculine and the feminine, which, I know you know. But just because some clients left doesn't mean anything. Just because your nanny left doesn't mean anything. Just because your bubba decided to go back to the breast instead of the ball doesn't mean anything. Get quiet. Be still and ask yourself, do I want a second baby? And get clear of that right now. Maybe the answer is no. Cool. Let's say the answer is no. I don't know what it is, Joanna, so I'm not going to answer that part for you. But get quiet, number one. Do I want another baby? Yes or no? And if the answer is like, hell no, cool. Then go back to the drawing board. If I wasn't forcing this, what would I be up to? Sure, my nanny quit, but maybe there's a better option. Maybe there's, another nanny or a babysitter or part-time options. My Bubba wants breastfed. Okay, cool. Let's breastfeed. And what can I do to approach my work without the push? What would feel more organic? And we often see this as we turn the calendar that we get very masculine. Joanna, I do too. What do I have to do to make this year better? The year is already amazing. So I want you to sit in that energy. Get quiet, meditate. Know that the universe is not pushing you off your track. And yes, it feels like plot twists, but plot twists are where surrender is necessary. And I would sit and meditate and say, okay, surrender. Not what does my year look like? What does this week feel like? What am I aligned to do? What am I being asked to step into? What is my resonance right now? Let me not look at this like a plot twist. Where is spirit guiding me now? And just surrender into that. And notice if part of you fights that versus you surrender. They're circling the picture of your clients, which I think is totally fair, Joanna. It feels like whatever career you're doing, it's just like I keep seeing like a nail file. It wants a bit of a nail file to it. So maybe what you thought 2024 is slightly different. Open your heart. What does that feel like? And please, Joanna, just like the last caller, Alexis, please message me and let me know how that feels, because you're not off your path. There's nothing wrong. But I think the message is about softening. Not that you weren't soft before, but getting softer and intertwining, the kadoosh, the two snakes that go up, intertwining the softness of the feminine with the masculine of the go, and just intertwining them. And this can still be your year with a different energy. So I hope that landed, Joanna. I'm sending you lots of love because, man, oh man, you're in a great space right now, just like Alexis, and just play with that. Sending you lots of love. Namaste. And again, guys, if you have questions, feel free to email me at easeintoclarity@gmail.com. Sending lots of love and thank you for listening. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast, Ease into Clarity. It is such a joy, pleasure, and honor to be in your living room. What I would love is if you follow me on Instagram, DRDIVI, or go to my website, drdivi.com, or write a review. That would be even more amazing. Thank you. If you really enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it with friends, family. Tell them to follow me, because I think the more of us that listen to the fact that each of us can start to shift, each of us can shift mental things, emotional things, spiritual shift, to shift our daily reality. When more and more of us do it, we get a better planet. We get more love. We get more happiness. We get more joy. So I'd love it if you followed. I'd love it if you shared this, because it would be such a joy and an honor. And again, if you have a question, guess what? I'm here for you. So send me an email, easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And as they come in, I will answer them in podcasts that are subsequent, whether it be your boss, your relationship, your husband, whatever. That's what I'm here for. Because the more of us that learn really simple mental techniques, really simple spiritual techniques, we change the physical reality we live in. Pretty soon we have more peace, more ease, more joy, trickling across the whole world. Remember, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.